All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw. We are live from the 704 once again for episode 206. Listen, this is going to be chaotic, all right? We got things going on as we speak. We got Copa America final going on as we speak. We got the MLB draft going on as we speak, all right? This is what happens because I have to record on Sundays because I got a big boy job now. So, yeah, we got everything going on as we speak. So this is basically a live episode, which, you know what, you may be here for. But yeah, we got House of the Dragon, Aftermath of Rook'S. We're going to talk about that. We got the boys and whatever happened there. Is Butcher dead? We also have Wimbledon. It was a great week. It was a great day for Spain. Euros, Wimbledon. It was a great day for Spain. We're going to talk about that. Paul Skenes is just like having one hell of a, man of the year. All right. Paul Skenes might be Times Man of the Year. Number one pick last year, got called up. He's the best player. Just best pitcher in the league, I guess now. Number one prospect. He got Livy Dunn. Like, he might be Times Man of the Year, honestly, but we'll talk about that. This is completely unrelated, but College Football 25 is coming out. We're going to talk about that in the Roundup. Caitlin Clark is still Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese, we'll talk about that. It was very, very shameless at the end, but we will talk about Angel and a whole lot more, all right? Slim Shady is dead, apparently, according to Eminem. So we will talk about that, too, in entertainment. But like I said, we got plenty to talk about. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. We are getting very close. I think we're 10 subscribers away from 2,000. Thank you. Thank you. A huge milestone, another huge milestone. So yeah, we're very, very close to 2K. Took a little bit of the weekend off to kind of refresh myself. I've been nonstop and I'm moving again next weekend. So this is the last time with this setup. All right, say farewell. Everybody say bye. 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 Yeah, the couch will still be here, but things will look a bit different. We are moving into a new house next weekend. So yeah, look forward to that. What else? Timestamps are embedded in the video. Skip ahead. I know it's long form content. That probably sounds crazy as a creator to tell you to skip ahead. Listen, if you want to watch the full thing, go right ahead. I love you. I appreciate you. Look good for my metrics. But I get it. It's long form content. Skip to whatever you're here for. If you're here to hear me talk about footy, skip to it. You want to hear me talk and just glaze Carlitos for 10 minutes? Stay tuned. All right, stay tuned because that's the first segment. But, whatever you're here for, feel free to skip ahead. That is in the description alongside my social media. So, yeah, if you're looking for that, that's where you can find it. But without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Wimbledon. All right, Wimbledon. All right, this is for the tennis girlies. All right, I know you're watching as well. So, yeah, shout out to my tennis girlies. Carlitos. Let's set the stage, though. Let me set the stage real quick for you. See, last year we thought, and I think I came on here and I was like, you know what? I think that might have been the torch passing when Carlos beat Novak last year. I think I said that. But you know what? I think that was the first step. I think that was the first sign. Because then we roll over this year and Novak actually got his revenge a little bit later in the year last year. Then Carlos comes... Sinner beats Novak actually in the Aussie Open, and you were like, okay, is Novak still that guy? And then Carlos comes back, he wins French, and we talked all about that. We could go back to that. And then we're here at Wimbledon. We don't know if Novak's going to be able to compete, but he does. He ends up being able to compete. Takes on, I think he actually took out Sinner, I believe. They were on the same draw. So yeah, I think he actually ends up beating Sinner. Or was that... No, Medvedev. Daniil. Did Daniil? Yeah, Daniil. Daniil beat Sinner. So, yeah. Daniil beats Carrot. And then, we end up here with Novak and Carlos here in the final once again. And how is that going to go down, right? How is that going to go down? No, looks like he is that guy. Dominated down the stretch. TFO gave Carlos a little bit of pressure, though. Made him sweat a little bit, Made him sweat a little bit. But how would it go down? We've seen so many of these 5-set classics from Carlos and just kind of, that's the thing, right? He dips his level and then he rises to the occasion. That's the whole, formula for Carlos's Grand Slams. Yeah, we didn't do that today. And like I said, this was not a torch passing. Let's not be mistaken here, ladies and gentlemen. This was a torch snatching. This was a snatching of the torch. A taking it off of if I'm supposed to take it off your dead body, I'm going to take it off your dead body. The first two sets from Carlos Alcaraz was some of the most high profile and best tennis I have ever seen in my life. Everything was working. His serve was working. The backhand was working. The drop shots, good gracious, the drop shots were gorgeous. The shot making, the perfect precision, the forehand winners he had in this match. I mean, I about shed a tear. It was beautiful. It was, if you want to show somebody tennis and get them into it, show them what Carlos Alcaraz did in the first 2 sets of this. That's what you should show them. It was a highlight tape. Near perfect. It was watching the love child of Roger, of Rafa, and of Noel just come together in this like Super Saiyan Spanish 21-year-old, and he was just perfect. He was perfect in the first 2 sets, but Novak did not become arguably the greatest to ever do it and pick up a racket by not being Novak. So he fights back, you know the mentality, and he is Novak Djokovic at the end of the day. He fights back. But still, Carlitos has this game, has this match, has the championship, his defense on his racket, 5-4. And this was one of the moments that I'll remember when we're talking about the greatness of Carlos Alcaraz. Because it's on his racket, 5-4. He gets this next point. It's 40-love. It's done. And he has a perfect serve, gets no out of position. All he has to do is hit another forehand winner. And you could have said it's because the lady screamed or whatever you want to say. But you know what? He misses it. Lets Novak back in. Novak comes back, makes it 5-5, then makes it 6-5. And now Carlos is back against the wall. Is he going to choke? Is he going to falter? And then a lesser player probably freezes and folds, especially against Novak Djokovic, staring you down across the net. Probably folds. A lesser player. But this is the baby goat. This is Carlitos. This is Carlos Alcaraz. So in the face of that danger, he does not falter. No. I'm going to tie it, make it 6-6. And then in an almighty tiebreaker, which Novak is a monster in, I'm going to take him down. And I'm going to become what? The 5th or 6th man to ever beat him in a Grand Slam final in straight sets. A sweep. Carlos. I mean, it's his era. Like I said, the torch has been snatched. Not passed. It has been snatched. And probably Novak preferred it this way. Or at least it seemed like it. I think Novak likes Carlos, which, I mean, everybody likes Carlos. It's hard to... Did you see the interview? I mean, even Rebecca's calling him hot and talented, which, you know, probably had a double meaning, maybe, or maybe not. It was Freudian slip attack. But everybody loves Carlos, and it's for a reason, all right? He's just a beautiful, beautiful player. Beautiful player, and he's him. If we're still calling people him, Carlos is him. He's the baby goat for a reason. He showed it with his finest performance to defend his Wimbledon title. And I don't care that he is number 3 in the rankings. This is the best player in the world. And you can mark today, July 14th, as the beginning of his era. Carlitos reigns supreme on the grass and gets number 4, passing Andy and Stan at Wimbledon. And now that wasn't it. We did have the women's game as well, with all the favorites knocked out. Iga's gone, Coco's gone. Sab, of course, had the personal matter. She wasn't here. So we all thought, oh, I guess Elena's going to win it. But then Elena lost, and then we were like, oh, maybe, you know, Emma can do it. Then Emma lost. So we were down to Jasmine Paolini, who also was on the channel, by the way. Shout out to Carlos for the channel, you know, the channel slam. We had Jasmine basically on at least for finals. She makes it back after making it in Roland Garros just over a month ago. Could she get it done? Unfortunately not, because the Sheiks apparently run Wimbledon. Barbora Krejcikova is able to get it done. Barbora, who nobody expected, was the underdog in her last 3, by the way. In the QF, underdog. Semi, underdog. Here in the final against Jazz, underdog. It didn't matter. Played her best tennis. And you know how we say in sports when we're talking about, you know, other players or teams in a tournament, we say they're the team of destiny. It felt like Barbora throughout this tournament was the player of destiny. She was just on. She was peaking at the right time. She played some great tennis, and she was able to get it done against Jazz. So all the credit to her. She does win her first ever Grand Slam. And yeah, wins it at, you know, center court Wimbledon, which it doesn't get bigger than that. So yeah, shout out to Barbora. Huge accomplishment, of course, women at Wimbledon. And yeah, It was a great tournament, both the men and women. Even with the the uncertainty, 8 different winners by the way in the past 9 years on the women's side, and then Carlitos reigning supreme and making it his era. It was just really cool. It was a really cool week, or past 2 weeks, should I say, in the tennis world. But yeah, Carlos Alcaraz, ladies and gentlemen. What else is there to say? MLB. All right, the MLB is going on. The MLB draft, should I say, is going on right now. So we have live updates. All right, we have live updates. But before we get to that, Paul Skenes is just a bad mother, man. He's just a bad mother. That is all I gotta say. He is a bad mother. And like I said, he should probably be Times Man of the Year. You go number 1 overall, you dominate the minor leagues, then you get called up, then you get named number 1 prospect, get called generational, and then you go out and to start your career 6-0, 1.90 ERA with 89 Ks. Oh, and now he's starting the All-Star game as a rookie. Paul Skenes, generational. Is there anything else that needs to be said? He has brought life back into the Pirates organization. And honestly, for pitching, people who love pitching, he's probably brought life back to you. Skenes is absurd. I mean, I knew he was that guy, seeing what he did at LSU that last year especially. But I didn't expect him to come in and dominate the way that he has this year. I mean, he's an ace. He's already an ace. Already, you call him one of the best pitchers in the league, I'm not going to debate you on that. I'm not debating you on that. He is that guy. Paul Skenes is that guy. The way we just talked about last segment, for those that may have skipped ahead, about Carlos Alcaraz and how Carlos is that guy, yeah, Paul is that guy. Paul is that guy. That's all that needs to be said. Just absolutely sublime work. But yeah, starting the All-Star game as a rookie midway through your rookie season is crazy. But yeah, if anybody can do it, Paul Skenes, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing else needs to be said. MLB draft is going on, and like I hyped it last week, we have an incredible crop of college bats. And they literally went 1, 2, or excuse me, they didn't go 1, 2, but they did go 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and there we cut off. There we cut off. So half the top 10, and the other 2 that went in the top 6 were the 2 college arms I mentioned. So let's talk about it, all right? The Indians, a lot of people were trying to figure out what they were going to do. The mock drafts actually went towards JJ at the beginning of today, but in the end, they do go with the Aussie himself, the first ever Australian number 1 overall pick in MLB history. Travis Bazzana out of Oregon State does, in fact, go number 1 to the Indians. Reoccurring theme, all of these dudes can hit. And honestly, pretty much all of them with power. Now, some of them have Cags power. And some of them just can hit like JJ. But all of them are really, really, really good bats and don't really have a weakness in the field. And Baz pretty much fits that. A very worthy number 1 overall pick. And like I said, the first ever for the Aussies, so shout out to them. Number 2. All right, we were wondering if one of the pitchers might interrupt it. It did happen. It was Chase Burns. They went with the strikeout. I mean, makes sense. This is actually funny enough. He was the projected number 2 going into the season. So we just kind of end up where he was projected in the end. The Reds do make that choice. Again, Burns and Green, if they can keep that together and Burns reaches the potential, could be a deadly 1-2 combo. Charlie Condon is going to Coors. I started laughing. I'm not going to lie. I started laughing when I saw that Condon went to Colorado because that's just a match made in heaven. The damage this man could do at... Oh, my God. Woo, bro, nah, it was perfect. All right, it was perfect. Condon goes to the Rockies. They're going to love that. Nick Kurtz heads to the Athletics, of course. When this pick came up, they picking Kurtz or Cags. They went with Kurtz. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, I mean, I've seen Kurtz play very, very many times. He is that guy, and he's also a great defender at first base. So yeah, he could definitely be a foundational piece for the Athletics if he lives up to that potential. Hagen Smith ends up going to the White Sox. They need a refresh and getting, the guy that was the best pitcher in the country last year besides, maybe Chase Burns. And honestly, some people might rank Hagen over Chase. Can't go wrong with that. So yeah, pitching is definitely a luxury in today's league. You always need great pitchers. You need great ace pitchers. Hagen could potentially be that for the White Sox. The biggest star in college baseball goes 6th to the Royals. And they have to be ecstatic Because imagine having Bobby Witt Jr. and Cags, if Cags does play like Cags. That is just, we got some great duos cooking. And I like that pick for the Royals. I think it was the right pick. Cags was easily best player available at that point. So yeah, right decision there. The Cardinals get J.J. Weatherholt. I can easily see him becoming the next great Cardinal because the man hit everything. I mean, everything. It didn't even matter if it was outside the zone, inside, outside, high, low. It didn't matter what pitch. He hit everything at West Virginia, and I expect that to translate to the next level. I also saw Weatherholt play with Team USA. He was as good as advertised. But yeah, he falls all the way to 7th. I think they injured the hamstring and just kind of the lack of, even though he still had a good year, but just the lack of production, compared to his counterparts who went off this year. I think that, made him slide a little bit. But either way, the Cardinals are going to be ecstatic to get him where they got him. Simo rides that wave to the 8th pick. He goes to the Angels. Again, a player that just got better every single year at, Tennessee. So don't hate it. Like it for the Angels again. They're rebuilding. The Pirates, who will be joining Paul Skenes and T-Mar Johnson. It will be the first high schooler off the map here in Connor Griffin. He was the unanimous #1 high schooler. Him and Bryce Rayner, who we're about to talk about. So yeah, good pick for the Pirates. Of course, they're rebuilding. Griffin could be a very, very special player. Could be what, arguably, as great as this draft is, could have the highest upside in this draft. So, little pick for the Pirates. Make the counter 3. 3 picks in the top 15 for the Wake Forest, which should tell you how disappointing their season was. But yeah, Seaver King, he goes 10th. Saw him play. He goes to the Nationals. Like that pick for them. Bryce Rayner, who we just talked about, out of Cali, he's going to D-Town. He goes to the Tigers. Brendan Montgomery, unfortunately, gets to torture me for the next couple years as he is a Red Sox. And yeah, Tibbs goes to the Giants, Cam Smith, so back-to-back Florida State players I'm looking at here. Sinjay, who can go both ways. He's like a switch pitcher. He goes to the Mariners. That's very interesting. And yeah, pretty much all the headline guys have gone off except for, I think, Cam Committee. I think I'd be waiting on. But yeah, like I said, top of that draft. Went, we all kind of knew, what the top 10 was going to look like. But it was kind of like what order they're going to fall. Is Baz going to go number 1? Baz does go number 1. All right, do the Reds go with that pitcher number 2? They go with Burns. And then just everything kind of falls in place. Cags and Weatherholt may have gone a little bit lower than some people were expecting. But nonetheless, I really, 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 really like this draft. I really like the players in it. Again, with so many college bats, I think they could have a closer to sooner impact and arrival in the MLB. So yeah, it's just another good influx of good young talent. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in their minor league seasons for the rest of the year and kind of where that dictates where they fall in the prospect rankings. Of course, Jackson Holiday is still the #1 prospect. But yeah, we will see. But ladies and gentlemen, Paul Skenes, MLB Draft. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now for entertainment, all right? We just got done. You know what time it is. Just got done with House of the Dragon. Very calm episode. But I pretty much expected it. Biggest thing was Aegon survived, for those that did not get spoiled. Of course, Aegon survives, barely. He's Two-Face now, all right? He's Harvey Dent, okay? Aegon is now Harvey Dent. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Aemon Targaryen still has the most aura on this entire show. He's different. All right, he's different. He played the Game of Thrones, and now he is Prince Regent. We will see what Aemon does as leader, but he put them straight to work and had them cut down the rat catchers like that. So we go see what happens there. Alyssa and Cole are feuding. Alyssa is just losing control of all of this, and she's losing her mind a little bit. Rhaenyra is getting carried. I'm not going to lie to you. She's getting carried by everybody around her. Just getting carried by her son. Jace got busy. I know that bent knee comment had the ladies who watched this show. I heard y'all were big fans of that one. But yeah, Jace getting stuff done. We love to see it with the Freys, who are still scumbags as they were in Game of Thrones. So yeah, that is continued history. What else? Daemon is still tripping via Alice, going down on his mother. Okay, so I saw the leaks and they said it was going to be Emma. That was not Emma. That was his mother. That is insane, but also very, very much so in line with Daemon Targaryen. So, yeah, Daemon is still tripping, but he did get the Brackens to submit. He did something shady in normal Road Prince ways, but did get them to submit, but then he kind of ruined it with the rest of the lords. So we'll see. But yeah, while everybody else is at war, Daemon has essentially been doing home renovations and spooky stories at Harrenhal. But it's been a very interesting subplot. We'll see where that goes. Jace was on one, right? He even came up with the dragon seeds. I don't think that it was interesting, though I will say. Them kind of parading Melee's head and that not going well, and that being kind of why the small folk are like a little like hesitant now, and then Aemon shuts the gate, so you got all that going on. I'm very interested to see what the kind of play with Mysaria and Diana's going to be, since she sent the messenger. So yeah, interested to see. It was a lot of political strategy and just kind of like pieces being moved. You know, we can't do epic battle every week and all-time episode every week. That would take away from the battles when we get them. We're going to get plenty. But we had a lot of strategizing and a lot of movement going on this week. I think next week it'll pick up a little bit more. And yeah, we saw Vermithor, so yeah, nice to see Vermi. But House of the Dragon, still Beshel and Telly. The boys, man, y'all were really upset about the last episode, but this one calmed it down, I thought. And then the shapeshifter, which crazy way, literal skin changer, ripping your skin off is truly the boys' way of doing a shapeshifter. And then she took Starlight's body, and Huey just can't take a W. He just can't take a W. For one episode, please, can Huey just not take an L? Please, I'm begging. Honestly, I'm begging. The dude goes into the deep end, no pun intended, takes out his octopus girlfriend, and then he finds out that Sage was not sleeping with him like she was with him. She was just, you know, she didn't need to get lobotomized to sleep with Nora, but she had to get lobotomized to sleep with the Deep. But yeah, he just lost his mind. I don't know why they didn't kill him, though. When him and Nora pulled up, and by the way, is everybody just invulnerable? I still like this season, but I still have certain issues with the powers, and I feel like they're trying to stall to keep everybody alive for season 5 when it's like, in normal boys fashion, like, they'd off the Deep. There's no reason for them to not kill the Deep there, or to kill Nor. Also, I guess Nor can fly and is also invulnerable, which I guess makes sense why he got the Nor role, but it kind of is like, okay, I feel like we should have maybe known about this suit before, but it's still cool to see Nate get to actually, you know, play the role of Nor, and not him just behind the mask, even though he was great, you know, behind the mask is like the silent killer. That was still very entertaining, but yeah. Sage got fired. Homelander is losing his mind. So yeah, we are all set for probably an absolutely insane finale. But yeah, the boys still cooking a little bit. Web Beaver also, that MK fatality was absolutely crazy. I love seeing Homelander get a feat of strength like that. As much as we jest about him being the weakest of the Superman like characters, he is still, you know, the most powerful super. So let's remind ourselves here. Butcher dies at the end of the episode, I guess. Kinda. I don't know. Passes out. I'm thinking now that the Parasite might be playing JDM's character. And maybe he's going to take over for Butcher now. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, boy's still cooking. Eminem dropped the Death of Slim Shady. I'm going to just come out and give it a 7.2. 7.2. It was solid. It wasn't a bad... If this is it, you know, then it's not a bad one to go out on. But there's just... I felt like what he was going for, it's hard to do when he hasn't really been like... He was really trying to push this like... And of course, that's what Slim Shady was, right? And of course, the music he made in that like 2000 when he was on top of the game is timeless, right? It's timeless. But him trying to do it now just doesn't work. It doesn't hit the same. Like, were we really trying to cancel M? Was anybody... Can M really be canceled? You know what I mean? Like, that was like the big thing of like, oh, they're trying to cancel. Like, is anybody really actually trying to cancel Eminem or Slim Shady? Like, are we really... Like, that's not really happening. And that was kind of like the reoccurring theme. So it didn't really hit, and then just some of like the jokes, it just was like, it was just old. It was just old. Like, yeah. I mean, it was still some good stuff on there. The song Fuel with Jed was very, very good. But, and there were some other good cuts, but, you know, it was a 7.2. It was above average, but it wasn't like nothing crazy, right? It wasn't a bad album by any means, but it was like, it, you know, Emma's this retirement. It's time to retire, my boy. It's time to retire. That's what it was. It was Jordan on the Wizards. You're not trash, but it's like, yeah, you're not the same guy anymore. So let's give it off to somebody else. Let's close the show. But yeah, that was the Death of Slim Shady. See how I felt about it. It was a little shaky. Soccer. Euros. Unfortunately, Gareth Southgate could not fall upwards just one more time. It wasn't to be. It just was not to be. For a second, though, they had me. Spain goes up after the half. I'm just going to cut to the chase and cut through some of the boring bits of this. Start off the half. Nico Williams, again, the dynamic duo, Nico Williams, Lamine Ball, young player of the tournament, by the way. And probably the Golden Boy winner, if, obviously. Doing what he's doing at literally just turned 17 is just obscene. He's the best youngster we've had since Mbappe. But yeah, Yamal gets the assist to Nico. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful football. And it looks like Spain's got it. But then Southgate subs on Cole Palmer. For some reason, Cole Palmer was not starting throughout this Euros, despite being Premier League Player of the Year, which is crazy to me. As deep as England is, Palmer has been balling out this entire season. I feel like he deserved a little bit more than what he got, but you know what? He comes on, instant impact, scores, long range, Drew gets the assist, a little bit of voodoo in there. We're thinking, all right, we might be going to extra time. Nope. Yeah, no. England's defense, I don't know what, because first off, possession before that for Spain, Yamal somehow beats two defenders down there, and it wasn't like an impressive, like, oh, he just out-sprinted them. No, it was an effort thing. England's defense fell asleep. Kyle Walker, what are you doing? What are you doing? John Stones, what are you doing? Why Trent Alexander-Arnold not in this game? Lord knows. Southgate decision. But they fell asleep twice, and Spain made them pay on the second one. Orizabal gets the goal, pokes it in, past Pickford after Pickford saved them. The possession before with a great save on your ball. And just completely, not his fault. He was great, but just terrible defense. And that's it. That's all she wrote. England crashes out again. In another major final again. Harry Kane ghosts in a final again. He's still cursed again. And yeah, the Three Lions can't get it done. Simply put, couldn't get it done. And credit to Spain. They were the best team all tournament. And honestly, on paper, this isn't like one of those, this isn't like the 08 to 12, like that era of like dominant, this Spain team is insane. It's not one of those Spain teams. But it didn't matter. They were different. They came different. Yamal was a force. Nico was a force. Those two on the wings. Morata scoring when necessary. Being the leader. Being a very underrated leader for that team. The midfield coming together. The defense staying solid with Danny Carvajal's veteran presence. And Real Madrid voodoo. Simone did what he had to do in between the pipes. So yeah. Spain, well deserved. They were the best team. Simply put, they were the best team all tournament long. And England, despite having the most talent, they weren't the best team. And Southgate, for all I can give him credit for the subs that he made, you can also question why weren't these people in positions to start the game off and put you in a position to win early on so you weren't trying to fight from behind. So, yeah, I think they're going to keep them, but, I still question whether they should. So, credit to Spain. They get the sweep, but Carlitos and Euros, Wimbledon and Euros. So, credit where credit's due. But, yeah, more disappointment for the Three Lions. Now, I was supposed to be talking about the end of Copa America right now. But unfortunately, people don't know how to act. And they stormed Hard Rock Stadium, which I don't know if that's CONMEBOL, which of course probably part of it. It's CONMEBOL's fault for, security. And that should have been, probably some better preparations. But also, the other coin of the chaos, why don't people just know how to act? Why don't people know how to act? Like, why are you storming it in the first place? You can't storm and then be upset you can't get in, right? You can't cause all this chaos and cause a security issue and then be like, yo, it's now a problem. America can't host the World Cup. Act how you're supposed to act, and this probably wouldn't have been a problem. Game starts on time, and we don't have this big glaring issue on Twitter right now. But I digress. It's currently halftime, though. 0-0. I'm just going to assume, even though I would much rather, and honestly, Colombia is dominating this game in terms of, offense and possession, but I'm just going to assume Argentina pulls out some voodoo and pulls this off. However, for the boy, Leo, for the boy, Miggy, if you're watching this, I hope y'all pulled through. But I wouldn't bet on it. But I hope y'all pull through in this next half. Of course, we won't be able to talk about it because it's going on right now. But I hope y'all pull through. But I just have a feeling that Argentina's going to pull out some voodoo and they'll join Spain as the winners of the international tournaments so far for this summer. But, yeah, Mbappe's ceremony is coming up. So we have that coming up. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that was world football. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, we have reached the roundup, and yes, all right, we're starting off with no racing. Let me see if the NASCAR race actually, because we're doing this live. Let me see if it's even finished right now. We haven't talked about NASCAR in a while, of course, because it does in fact happen usually on Sunday. We did. All right, Ryan Blaney. He remembered that he was Ryan and Blaney. All right, Ryan gets the win at Pocono. So yeah, let's check standings, by the way, since I've been gone so far. Chase leading, Kyle Larson, T. Reddick. Yeah. It's crazy to look at the standings, honestly, because this is like exactly what I expected it to look like 10 years ago when I was looking at who's the top prospects. It was like, oh, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick. And now seeing them kind of be like the top of the top. And Blaney is like, yeah. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see that kind of come to fruition. And see them in the mix of their primes and see their era. Should be a good title race. But yeah, Pocono gets his second victory, by the way, in the last 5 for Blaney. So yeah, Blaney wins at Pocono. There we go. But yeah, we're talking about Caitlin, okay? We're talking about CC. Little CC in Indiana. They hooping right now, and she is hooping especially, all right? She is now, oh wait, it ended today. Dang. Yeah. 5 straight double-doubles, okay? And some of them, they weren't just like 10 and 10. No, we were looking at 20 and 10 range for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, she has been hooping. All right, she has very much so been hooping, looking like July's Rookie of the Month is going to belong to her. And she kept it up today, didn't shoot as well, but they did get the win over the Lynx. So yeah, the fever just getting better. Caitlin continues to get better. Angel Reese's double-double streak did come to an end against the Liberty. And honestly, it's better, even though, it was a cool streak to have. But it was getting shameless. Especially the last 2 games of the streak, including the one that died on, absolutely shameless at the end of the game. It was like they knew the streak was going on, and it was like, all right, we got to at least get the streak, keep it going. But yeah, it was shameless. It was shameless what was going on at the end of the games. And her begging for the ball, or it was bad. It was just bad basketball. It was bad hoops. I love Angel, but it was bad hoops. What happened at the end of the Liberty game, you're going to lose the game, clock's running off, don't know. All right, and then you cop attitude because you want to keep it. No, I get it, but that's bad hoops. That's bad etiquette. That's bad hoops etiquette. But yeah, Angel will be fine. Still, rebounding at a great rate. Still leads the league in rebounds. But yeah, a double-double streak is done and dusted. Little combat sports, yeah. We don't have the major event for another 2 weeks, but we do have some stuff to talk about. Tracy Cortez, my wife, all right? My wife, Tracy Cortez, did in fact lose to Rose. She did lose to Doug Rose. But still, credit to Tracy, honestly, for taking this on, what was it? I think 2 weeks' notice. Still, she had to cut her hair to make weight. But yeah, it just, the preparation wasn't there, and Rose just outclassed her. Pretty easy win for her, to be completely honest with you. And Rose continues to add her to her Hall of Fame resume, installs one of the emerging prospects. Tracy will be fine, and again, it was a loss, and she didn't lose close or anything, but still, it's not as bad because she did take it on short notice, so credit where credit's due. Boots, yeah, Boots washed. He faced what? Avanasan? 5th round TKO, easy word, retains the IBF title. Listen, he wants to clean up 147. I'm all here for it. I want him to face Bud, but if Bud's going to party at 154, then, yeah, Boots, clean up, get you undisputed, and then you need to run it with Bud. I don't know if Bud wants to wait and keep waiting and make that his little torch passing, but either way, I'm cool with Boots, which is what he said. He wants to basically, glory hunt a little bit, fight some big names, which is the right case, and which Shakur Stevenson needs to be on, and maybe Shakur is trying to get on that. But yeah, I like that Boots has that mentality because that's what we need, because he's proven that he's elite. It's time to see him face other elite fighters so we can see how elite and how great Boots is. But yeah, easy work for him this past weekend. And yeah, to end off, ladies and gentlemen, College Football 25 comes out this week. So that is all that anything and anybody is going to care about for the next week. I'm not going to lie to you. For you guys that got the deluxe, I think it comes out tomorrow. For your boy, it comes out, I think, the 19th. I just got the standard. I honestly, respectfully, EA, do not care about Ultimate Team. I don't. I really don't care about Ultimate Team. So y'all got it. All right? Y'all got it, but I respect it. Nonetheless, I respect it, but y'all got it. All right, I'm good off it. But I did pre-order it, so we will be playing CFB 25. We will be hopping on Dynasty, USC, Fight On, Charlotte, Niner Nation stand up. So yeah, we will be on that, and yeah, the rest of the world will be too. You watching will probably be on it, so we'll be on it together. But yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed basically live episode from episode 206. New setup next week for probably both that and Ultra Reacts. We're also 10 subs away, like I said, from 2K. So yeah, we may be celebrating that next week. But for now, Carlitos, Skenes, just a bunch of hymns this week. Ocho, signing off.